CM Punk was no druggie. He was no alcoholic guy. He saved his money. He owns a bunch of apartment buildings in Chicago. So CM Punk is a guy that could do that because he could walk away from this business today and it wouldn't faze him at all.
Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Time Machine, available right here on Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello everybody, my name is Mac Davis and along with me are two fantastic co-hosts for this roundtable discussion. Right now, the first person we have belongs in the Hall of Fame. He's not there yet, but he does belong in the Hall of Fame. His name is synonymous with magazines. He is also the senior editor at Sportskeeda, and he is the legendary pro wrestling journalist, Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Well, thank you. Like Captain Lou Albano used to say, I'm a legend in my own mind. But thank you.
In your own mind.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
And also with Bill is another guy that many of you know. He is my tag team partner. He is a true WWE Hall of Famer, the longest reigning SmackDown manager in history. Ladies and gentlemen, Teddy Long.
Hey, man, happy to be here, man. Thank you so much. And, man, I just want to say welcome to my man, Bill Apter, a man I've known through my whole career. Welcome aboard, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And we go back, when you talk about the time machine, we go back a long way in the time machine.
We are a time machine.
Guys, let's talk about the time machine, the wrestling time machine, and what it means and what this show actually is. It's available, as I mentioned, on Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda. You can find it on all the podcast platforms. And this show is brand new. And what it will actually do is take us back to a particular moment in time in wrestling history. This week is somebody very special. But, Bill, you wanted to mention kind of the time machine and how we got here, right?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that, this was the genius idea of the editors over at Sportskeeda. And this is not meant to be one of those, it's the time machine. These guys are going to go back to the 60s and 70s and talk about that's not, this could be even 4 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a time machine going back to moments in pro wrestling history that we all went like, wow, let's discuss it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rufus agrees. I hear him in the background. Our time machine this week is going to go back to the date of January 27th. January 27th, 2014, to be more specific. Okay. It was the first time that CM Punk actually quit the WWE.
Well, it was the PM because it was an evening show, but
it was.
Well, and the first time he ever quit the WWE. Yeah, that was quite a shocking time.
Now, before we get there, let me kind of get everybody a real quick update about where we are with CM Punk right now. CM Punk right now and AEW are at odds. The last we've heard, CM Punk may very well be on his way out of AEW and on his way to WWE after the big mess at the press from All Out. And there's a lot of blame to go around. I think a lot of blame comes from about everybody that was involved, if you want to know the truth of the matter. But that's where we are right now. We really don't know where CM Punk will end up. But we do know that with AEW, things don't look too rosy.
Well, my opinion on that, and I think, Mac, you and I talked about this. You know what I mean? I love CM Punk. He's a great friend of mine. Like I said, a lot of people got a problem with him. I don't have a problem with him. He's just a man that's able to speak his mind. Back in the day, we couldn't do that. If you spoke out about something, then you'd be fired or you'd be buried on TV or just, it wouldn't be a good thing for you. But, times have changed. CM Punk has certainly made it possible for people to just, be able to come out and just speak their feelings. If there's something that they don't like that's going on within the company, you used to couldn't talk about it. Now you can. So I'm just saying, I hope he returns to the WWE. And like I said, Triple H, he's a smart man. He knows about, he's a money man. He understands that part of the business. And like I said, I'll always campaign with this. I think CM Punk and Nick Aldis would be the guys.
Well, Teddy, just taking what you just said right now, let's say there's a young wrestler out there who they watch other wrestlers and they want to be like other wrestlers. And do you think this is a good idea for someone like CM Punk? And you were talking about wrestlers were never able to come out into like a public forum and do this. But do you think that's really healthy for the wrestling business to have someone else like a CM Punk come out and, well, that's it. I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm going to blast it all over the internet. This isn't right. This shouldn't be done. Or should that business somehow just be buried backstage because it's so much out there. There is so much going on about CM Punk. Is that a healthy thing in the wrestling business, in your opinion, Teddy?
Well, yeah, I think so, because for one thing, it keeps his name out there. Okay, the second thing it is, like I said, this wasn't possible, many, many years back. Because there are a lot of things that may be going on backstage that a lot of people don't agree with, but they can't say anything about it. A lot of the guys, I went to work a lot of days, and I used to see a lot of guys come to work, and they were miserable. You know what I mean, about what they had to do and what they were asked to do, but they weren't able to talk about it. So I think, it kind of, it helps the talent a lot, you know what I mean, especially with the girls, you know what I mean? So, a lot of things we hear rumors about the girls having to sacrifice or do something that they may not want to do just to keep that job. And so to be able to speak about something that's being done to you that you feel is wrong, I think it's the right thing to do.
So Teddy Long starts Mac Davis starts a wrestling company. Teddy Long starts a wrestling company. You have a rebellious person in the backstage, just saying, well, this doesn't work. I don't want to do this. And then they take it out to the public. That would be something that you would put into your company?
No, I wouldn't put that into my company. I think when a person speaks out, I think he needs to be speaking out about the truth. I don't think you need to speak out about something because you done got mad at somebody, so now you want to sink the ship. It don't work like that. I think when you're going to come out and start speaking about something, if it's happening to you, then it needs to be the truth. And also it needs to be where it's going not only to help you, it's going to help other talent in the future. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll give people the right, well, let's don't do that to him because that ain't going to work. So I think as long as you're speaking the truth and you're helping yourself and maybe paving the way for other talent to be able to, speak their mind and stuff, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just very rebellious. In my opinion.
Let's talk about one of those.
Well, I don't think it's rebellious. I think the rebellious part comes in when you got some guy comes in and think he knows everything. That's the rebellious part. When a guy comes in and you can't tell him nothing, or you ask him to, put somebody over, and he tells you, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, that's rebellious. That I don't agree with, because this is your job. I'll use myself as an example. When I did the thing with Undertaker, where they had me to get in a coffin. When I got to that TV that day and they told me that I was going to be in that casket, brother, I didn't want to do that. I mean, I'm just saying, nobody wants to lay in a casket, but I thought about this. Vince McMahon would have done it. So what is my problem? You know what I mean? And the other thing I thought about, this is not real. This is my job. I'm here to entertain. And that's what I was out there to do. So anything that I was asked to do, I never had no problem with it because I knew it wasn't real and it was my job.
Yeah, but you never broadcast it out there. So that, to me, that's the difference.
Well, let's talk about one of those nights when CM Punk actually came out. His actual first pipe bomb, the one that he came out on Raw on after the match, John Cena laying in the ring after being put through a table. And he got to the top of the ramp. And that was the first time CM Punk really showed that he could grab that microphone and do some magic. I want to read some excerpts from that night and what he was saying. I'll get some responses here. He started off by saying, now keep in mind, John Cena is in the ring at this time and he's hurt. CM Punk at the top of the stage, he's sitting down Indian style, and he starts off, John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this, because before I leave in 3 weeks, with your WWE Championship, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I don't hate you, John. I don't even dislike you. I do like you. I like you a hell of a lot more than most people in the back. I hate this idea that you're the best, because you're not. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. There's one thing you're better at than I am, and that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. You're as good at kissing Vince's ass as Hulk Hogan was. I don't know if you're as good as Dwayne, though. He's a pretty good ass kisser. Always was, still is. Whoops. I'm breaking the fourth wall. At that point, I'm going to kind of stop there. At that point, when that promo came down and you saw it, were you thinking this is a shoot?
Well, I thought it was. In fact, I was right there in Chicago, so I thought it was. But like I said, some of that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? I mean, some of it there's a lot of truth to it, and there's some non-truth to it. So I don't agree with some of that, you know what I mean? But you got to take a guy like John Cena, he was kind of uppity, one of those guys. So, you know what I mean? So I think what the true part about it is when CM Punk said he wasn't just one of the guys, there were a lot of guys that didn't like him in the back. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Bill, how about you? When you heard and saw that, did you think this is a shoot?
No. First I thought it was an angle to set up, of course, between CM Punk and John Cena. I guess, I'm old school with the, using the word ass and all this kind of stuff just on TV doesn't make it with me. But I felt, even though it might have been a storyline or an angle, I could see that rebellious streak of CM Punk starting to really sizzle and come out. Now, I had known him for years in the indies and all that. Backstage, he was a great guy. I never saw any tension between he and any of the other wrestlers. And between he and I, there was never anything like that. But a lot of the other guys periodically would just tell me, they said, this guy's got, if somebody does anything wrong to him, you're going to regret it because he's got quite a mouth on him.
Well, then that means that, that kind of explains what happened in AEW. I mean, let's be honest. If he's that way and the other guys are that way, nobody's going to get along in that aspect. I really think that a lot of what happened with AEW and CM Punk could have been avoided by AEW. So it's hard to lay blame on any one particular person because I believe there's a lot of blame that can go around on that situation.
But none of us were there. None of us
that's true.
were there.
That's true.
It's all hypothetical, what we heard, what other people have told us, but we weren't there. But when the reports started coming out after the scrum, what went on, I mean, things were totally out of control. But look at the hits everything got there in terms of social media, which is, maybe a lot of this that was going on with not just CM Punk, but with a lot of the other guys, is like, boy, this is going to blow up on social media. It's going to make us look even bigger and better. And Teddy, you said something before that was very interesting. You said something about, look, it brings people's eyes to all these people. Did CM Punk get a boost out of this, do you think, Teddy?
Well, he may have got a boost with some of the guys, you know what I mean? But not everybody, because a lot of the guys didn't understand what he did. A lot of guys didn't know about what had happened. And it's like you said, you thought it, it was an angle. But and they do start storylines, Vince, he'll push the button now. He'll go over the top. But like I said, for me to listen to him and some of the stuff that he said, I knew it wasn't an angle. I knew it was pretty much a shoot. But they can always turn a shoot into an angle too.
Oh yeah. But since we're talking about the AEW thing that was more recent, of course, is that whole thing just blew up, and I think the fans want Punk back now more than they even wanted him back before, after this whole blow up at the scrum.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the show too, because I do want to address that and where we think things may end up going. Let me read you a couple more things from that promo that did take place. One being that he said that Vince McMahon's brass ring, basically he was giving hell about that. He's saying, I've grabbed so many of Vince K. McMahon's brass rings that it's finally dawned on me that they're just that. They're completely imaginary. The only thing that's real is me. And the fact that the day in and day out, I have been for almost 6 years. I have proved to everyone in the world that I am the best on the microphone, in the ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me. When he said that, did you feel it?
I did. Okay.
I did too. I believed everything he was saying at that point.
Yeah, and he didn't lie. I mean, he's good. His mic skills are great. He's good on the microphone, and he's good on commentary. So, I mean, he didn't lie about that.
No, not at all. And he had every right to spill his feelings there. So yeah, no, I thought that was mainly shoot. But didn't you have that feeling that, well, this guy's just going to get himself in trouble?
Well, let me explain something to you. The way I look at it is like this. CM Punk was no druggie. He was no alcoholic guy. He saved his money. He owns a bunch of apartment buildings in Chicago. So CM Punk is a guy that could do that because he could walk away from this business today and it wouldn't faze him at all. A lot of guys can't walk away from this business because they haven't saved their money. They haven't done anything with their money the whole time they've been here. So this is all that they have. So once they walk away from this, there's nothing else for them to do. So they'll hold on to secrets and keep stuff in them just to continue to keep a job. So that's the way I look at it. So, you know, if you can walk away from this business, then you're able to tell secrets or whatever you can do. But if you can't, then a lot of guys keep things to themselves.
Well, see, going back in the time machine here with this, everything that's gone on, what kind of legacy does this, if Punk just says, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore.
I don't think the one.
What kind of legacy does he leave in a situation like this?
Well, I'll let Mac answer that. I want to see what Mac thinks about that. I mean, to me, I don't think the legacy really means anything to Punk. You know what I mean? He's done mostly everything that he's wanted to do, you know, and he's enjoying his life. So I don't really think he cares about the legacy.
But the fans do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the fans don't pay his bill. Well, they do. They pay his bills. But I mean, if he's got enough money and he doesn't need the money anymore, then, you know, it doesn't matter. I want to read one more thing from that promo that he did at the top of that ramp. Because it kind of brings us back to where we are right now. He says, the reason I'm leaving is you people, talking about the fans. Because after I'm gone, you're still going to pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. Vince McMahon is going to make money despite himself. He's a millionaire who should be a billionaire. You know why he's not a billionaire? Because he surrounds himself with glad-handed douchebag yes men like John Laurinaitis, who's going to tell him everything he wants to hear. He goes on to say, I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better off after Vince McMahon is dead. But the fact is, it's going to be taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family.
Well, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. What CM Punk says, that's his own opinion. I don't feel no way about Vince and his family and none of Hunter and Steph, none of them like that. They've always been great to me. You know what I mean? They gave me the opportunity of a lifetime. So, like I said, what?
Yeah, and I don't mean to cut you off, Teddy, but I was going to say, here's a little thing that most people don't know, and I didn't know this until I started looking into this show. I had no idea. Help make this. He actually sat down and helped construct the promo. And I didn't know that until yesterday when I started looking around and found out that Triple H actually had a hand in this promo. So at that point, it's like, boy, you know, I always thought that was all CM Punk. No. They still had their hands around CM Punk then too.
Well, like I said, we never know what's going on in this business. You know, when we think something's a shoot, you know what I mean? Then it's not. When you think it's not a shoot, it is. So you just don't ever know.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, Triple H had always had his mind surrounding the great era of the Attitude Era and some way to bring that back. And if I had one guy in the world, if I had my own promotion that I wanted to start up an Attitude Era with again, CM Punk would be my guy.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Well, like I said, I think that, you know, it's the promoters, decision on who they want on their TV and what they want. But I still think there's a lot of money in CM Punk. I think if you bring him in with the right guy, he'll draw you some money, you know what I mean? And, he's, like we're good for so long.
Let's talk about the day that CM Punk actually quit the WWE. Bill, you're the news guy. Do you remember that day and what went down?
Well, I do remember that guy. I wasn't there. I wasn't backstage, but I was getting a lot of calls from a lot of people backstage that were telling me, that it's a very volatile situation with CM Punk. And chances are this is probably the end of his run here. He's just had it up to here. He's fed up. So that's what I remember.
Now, if I recall, at that time, he was supposed to be going towards a program with Triple H, and I think they were trying to get him to do a match with Triple H at WrestleMania, where he basically said, I don't need to wrestle Triple H. Triple H needs to wrestle me. And I think that was part of his frustration when he was leaving.
Yeah, he was putting himself on a very high pedestal, but the fans were behind him. I mean, again,
but you know what, Bill? And I don't mean to call you out, but I'm just going to do this anyhow. CM Punk. It sounds like you may think that CM Punk is at fault for a lot of what's happening to him so far. Do you feel that way? Do you feel that most of the blame lays on Phil?
No, I'm not going to say most of the blame falls on him. The only thing that I say is, and I differ with Teddy in this, is that keep all that anger. If you're going to put out that kind of anger in front of the world, I just think that I just don't know if it's healthy. It doesn't help your character. Does it help the fans? Depending upon the fans, come to you more. They want to see you more and more. If that helps your character, sure. But I think it works two ways. I think the company needs to adjust what you're doing, and I think the person behind the character needs to adjust what they're doing. It works both ways. It's just that if he didn't want to be there at that point, then leave. But
I don't think. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that's the reason. I don't think it's that he didn't want to be there. I think there are a lot of people that didn't want him there, and that was the big difference. That's how I saw the whole AEW thing go down. Really, I got the impression that they didn't want him there.
Oh yeah, no. I was talking about WWE at that time. I thought that's what you're talking about. No, AEW. I know for a fact that people felt very agitated when he was backstage. A lot of people, but there were also a lot of people who liked him being there. The bottom line, though, and Teddy will attest to this, the bottom line in the whole business is getting the fans the asses in the seat. And the AEW fans want CM Punk. So you've got to try and work out something to keep him there. It's for the fans. The business is for the fans, not for the guys in the back in the dressing room, and not for us reporters or it's for the fans.
And I agree with you on that, Bill. It's for the fans. But listen, you also got to look at it like this. AEW, WWE are companies that are about making money. So if there's a guy out there that can put people in the seats and make you some money, Vince McMahon did it. I mean, Vince McMahon brought people back that I know he hated, but there was money in them. So what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If you hate the guy, whatever, if he can draw your money, that don't mean you got to go home and have dinner with him. Just work together. That's the way I was with a lot of, when I went to work, did my job. You didn't see me hanging in the bars or nowhere with none of the guys. I didn't go out and go nowhere. I went about my way. Once I left that job, then I'm back in the regular world now.
But yeah, you had guys that, like Vince McMahon, the guys that would go on national TV shows just saying how much they just hated Vince McMahon. And then 2 years later, how would you like to come back? There's a spot for you. Again, it's all about the money.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think they should have found a way. Next.
Well, my thing is this, man. If you don't like the company, that's fine. If you learn how to protect yourself. Don't let them put you out on TV that's going to do something to maybe kill you or bury you. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't know how to, look for that. But like I said, if you're there, they're treating you right, you're getting a nice payday, then just do your job. Shut your mouth, do your job. That's why I've made it so long. I kept my mouth closed and I kept my ears open. But, that's how this job works. So, just keep your mouth shut. If you ain't having no problem, then don't occur none.
Now the other thing, just going back into the time machine here, is that we can't change what already happened. Okay.
You're right.
So CM Punk at this particular point, if it were me and I were AEW, I know my fans want him, even though there was a lot of disruption backstage and things like this. I would try and find a way to bring him back before the other big guys find a way. Yeah.
Well, there's a way to do this. All you got to do, Tony Khan or whoever, just you and CM Punk sit down, have a come to Jesus meeting and work everything out. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to work with this guy because we don't like each other. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah, that don't pay your bills.
No.
The one thing I do want to mention, though, is that CM Punk, what is best for him to go forward? Where is it, WWE or is it AEW? What is best for AEW? I mean, what's best for CM Punk, I guess is what I'm asking.
Whoever gives him the most money.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so we all three agree that Triple H would probably take CM Punk back despite their history?
Well, like I said, I know guys that work with guys there every day that didn't give a shit about each other, but they work together.
You know what? Here he is, number 28 in the Royal Rumble, running down that ramp, and nobody expected it. Oh my God, it's CM Punk.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee he'd get a huge pop.
Oh,
I'm personally hoping for AEW.
Well, I like I said, may the best man win.
Why is that, Mac?
Bill, I think that just as a wrestling fan, for me, AEW, I'd like to see that come back where he can get in the fold and they can work things out. AEW's demise come in a few years. I think it's good for the wrestling business for them to be around. So I want to see them succeed. But I'm worried about some of the decisions they have made to what has put them in the position that they're in right now.
Well, let me say this, Mac, you're saying you want to see AEW succeed. Well, how about AEW considering what talent that they would like to see succeed?
Yeah.
It's always about the company being successful.
That's very true.
What about the talent? What about the talent being successful? The guys that are there that I know have good talent and that, are great workers in the ring, they got them on the back burner.
But then again, you have the temperamental people in the back. CM Punk comes back, 6 guys right away. We're out of here. We don't want any part of him. So it's just such a weird time.
Well, are those 6 guys drawing money? Are those 6 guys selling tickets? Are they doing that? Have they got any leverage?
We don't. Well, obviously we don't know that, but yeah, it could be the Young Bucks. It could be a lot of guys back there that just may not want CM Punk back in the company. But then again, they're not running the company.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're not running the company. Vince didn't let nobody run this company that didn't take over like that. No talent.
Kenny, let me ask you, why do you think CM Punk rubs so many people wrong?
Because he speaks his mind. Because he speaks his mind. That's why.
Yeah. I agree. He comes out and he's a man who's unfiltered, and he was not like that. He wasn't like that the whole time.
About it. One of the things that he's known for best. Sorry, I was going to say one of the things that CM Punk is known for. We everybody got really familiar with him when he did the pipe bomb in WWE, and he ended so far his career on a pipe bomb because that's how he went out. Everybody remembers the very last thing he did, and that was the press conference. So he dropped another pipe bomb that could have been the end of his career.
But that may be the way he wants to go out.
Correct.
If he's going out at all. Keep in mind that there is also another element we're not talking about, and that is the world of Japan. There's no reason why CM Punk can't make even more money going over to Japan and getting good paydays. And they're not going to worry about his attitude over there. Give me some great matches. That's what they want.
Guys, we're out of time for this episode. I'd like to keep going, but we've kind of
we're not done yet. What do you, buddy?
I want to find out real quick though, Bill. What do you got coming up? Anything in your merch? Anything you want to push?
Well, always, of course, go to WrestleBinge and check out my my interviews. And my Ricky Steamboat interview has really gotten some great traction. The one that says canceled about he refusing to wrestle against Ric Flair in Flair's final match. Check that out. Of course, I'm also 7 years now. My book, If Mac Is Wrestling Fixed.
I didn't know it was broken.
I was waiting for that. So my book is still out there on Amazon and everywhere else. And my periodic columns on Sportskeeda and this great new time machine, which we will have up once a week. And you can send your suggestions in. And next week, this guy kept popping in here. This guy,
Okay.
yeah. So I understand next week the time machine.
Yeah, wait. Not yet. I got to get with Teddy first and find out what he's doing. Teddy, how about you? Anything coming up in merch you want to push?
No, I'm good. Only thing, I'll be talking more about it in May. There's a big wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony that's going to be held in St. Louis, Missouri. The first time anything like this has ever happened in St. Louis. And you know it, Bill, that you know as well as I do that St. Louis is certainly the capital of professional wrestling. So
Holy ground.
they're going to have a Nick Ritenour and some of his buddies, and we'll be talking more about that. I think we're going to also have a chance to talk to Nick Ritenour, the guy that's putting this on. He'll be on the podcast talking to us, as time goes on. But right now, big Hall of Fame ceremony in May in St. Louis, and we'll be telling you more about that.
Yeah, that's Herb Simmons.
It's Herb Simmons, yeah.
Together. It's going to be and the Bruiser Brody Memorial Cup will be that weekend as well.
Exactly.
And you can join Teddy and I for Road Trip After Hours. That happens every Friday on YouTube, and that's at Road Trip After Hours. I promise you, it's a podcast unlike other podcasts. It's completely different, and you need to see it to understand what I'm talking about. So go to YouTube, go to Road Trip After Hours. Make sure you subscribe, because we're going to start giving away prizes soon on that channel. So make sure you do that. All right. I think that's everything, guys. This has been the Wrestling Time Machine. And as Bill was hitting a moment ago, next week, we're going to go back in time all the way back to July 22nd, 22. So not too long. Our next deep dive will be on Vince McMahon, the day he stepped down from WWE. I'm Mac Davis. That's Bill Apter and WWE Teddy Long.
Holler!